Don't you think this is scary in terms that it's the first stage where robots are supposed to replace humans?
So recently, if you have seen the scariest interview which was given by the father of AI.
You've spoken out saying that AI could manipulate or possibly figure out a way to kill humans.
In my farm, it is just 2,500 square feet, but there are 11 racks.
So AI monitors everything and makes
AI
sure it
can
stays
monitor
at least.
everything in real time and keep changing that. There were 3 days of unseasonal rainfall in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
it destroyed the standing cotton crops which took a year to grow.
महाराष्ट्र के कपास किसान हैं जो पिछले कई सालों से कपास की खेती कर रहे हैं.
Unseasonal rains in North and West India have caused huge loss.
You will stand and see your crops dying in front of you and you cannot do anything. Currently, Maharashtra has the highest death rate, suicide rates in farmers. Why? Brazil and South American countries has been clearing lakhs of acres of the Amazon forest just to continue cultivating soya. No.
So how did you start off as, and then what was the thing that triggered you? Ki chalo nahi yaar, this is a very big problem.
And the more I studied the pharma industry, the more I started hating it. Because I started realizing that everything which is being passed on as medicine, it's long-term poison for your body. So who is the one evil?
So I see you're more into this, you're very much into this pharmaceutical space and how medicines affect a person's body.
That is all my...
So is that the reason why you chose organic farming, hydroponic farming?
Yeah.
And you got started with it?
Absolutely. Personally, I believe there is no substitute to good quality food as a medicine. There is no substitute.
That's true. You can get all the nutrients from food.
It's not just that. So, like in our everyday life, 99 out of 100 problems which we face on a daily basis, it can be something as simple as a headache to nausea to anything. It is somehow related to your gut, your stomach. A homeopathic doctor you spoke to, they will tell you the same thing. Like when they do treatment of anything, the first treatment they do is of your digestive tract. And the reason behind getting into this quality food is, one, it was affecting my personal life. And I found something which could be done about it. Okay. Second, I am from a business background. So I do understand scope of business. Hydroponics and biotechnology has been a part of my life since education. And fortunately, I had selected a field which turned out to be very interesting to me. I still today, I have finished my education in 2004, 2005. Even today, I cannot stop from reading all the medical journals which are being published on a daily basis. I love keeping updated. I love studying what is happening. Because I find it absolutely magical what is being done in medical science today. Of course, that is not coming out to the general public. But there are some massive advancements being done in medicine. And I don't mean what we call medicine, like paracetamol tablets and all. Science and medicine are taking things in a completely different way. Like the other day we were talking about things. There has been a recent advancement where using artificial intelligence and years of study, people who are completely paralyzed and cannot speak, they can wear a helmet and their thoughts can be read.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic... Can you imagine breakdown of that?
Yeah.
The implications of that. It has got far-reaching implications to people who are suffering from any kind of paralysis. Cerebral palsy.
Yeah. It's a very big thing.
Yeah. They can lead a normal life. I don't know, this is not very common, but in Japan, you can Google this and see. So, I consider this society quite conscious. They have started using this, this is how I got to know about this. So, in Japan, they have started recruiting completely paralyzed people. And using that helmet, they are able to control robots who then act as service people in restaurants.
But don't you think this is scary? In terms that it's the first stage where robots are supposed to replace humans? Because now you're just using the specially abled.
Yeah.
There will be a time when they'll use actual humans to control these robots, and then there will be a time then when these robots will replace humans. Do you think it can go that far?
Absolutely. So recently, if you have seen the scariest interview which was given by the person who's called the father of AI. He was working in Google. We will have to look up his name.
Sam Altman?
No. Sam Altman is the new face of AI.
Right. So
He's the one who left Sam Altman.
okay.
And he was working in the Google AI. And the reason for him leaving is because he said, we don't understand what we are doing when it comes to AI. We have no idea how it is developing. So what AI has done, what the
Imagine the father of AI saying this.
yeah. And and if you see that interview, he's scared about it. He's genuinely scared. You can see, when you see an interview, like when we were seeing your previous interview, we could see that the person who was talking about it was very passionate about it. Here you can feel that fear. And his fear was very rational. What he said was, what is currently happening with AI is very simple. We are teaching a machine to analyze data at levels unimaginable. Our human mind cannot do that. But it can. But what has happened is there has been added. Now, if it is only about crunching data and giving back numbers, it's an advanced calculator.
That's true.
But what is happening now is they are realizing that what they have developed is somehow even able to create a form of consciousness. When I say consciousness, not like us, but they are able to understand events.
Yeah.
How a war
AI
affects.
mindful hota ja raha hai.
And that is the scary part because we don't know where that mindfulness ends.
And where is it coming from?
Yes. And we are afraid of things which we don't understand.
That's true.
We are afraid of the dark because we don't know what is in the dark.
Exactly.
We are in the dark.
Uncertainty.
Where AI can reach. We do not know that. But again,
It's like creating your own alien.
But here's the thing. This is like the paradox of Frankenstein's monster. So who do you blame?
What is it? Can you explain?
So Frankenstein was the doctor who created the monster, right? In a children's story.
Okay.
You know Frankenstein monster. So who is the one evil? Is the monster who was created, is he the evil? Or is it Frankenstein who made him and gave him those abilities? Who is the villain? You're getting my point, right? So we are creating this for us. Now AI has got unlimited potential in my personal hydroponics field.
How?
Okay, so how? So let me describe currently the farm which we've built. It is a state-of-the-art indoor farm
Right.
where we are doing temperature control. We are doing atmospheric control. We are trying to control the amount of CO2 in the enclosed space. Okay? Now these are micrometers. Okay? When we create that solution water, we do dosing in micrograms. This is not even I'm talking about ml and all. I'm talking about micrograms. Now
ML का भी ML.
ml का भी बहुत micro ml. And the problem is उसमें अगर थोड़ा सा भी ऊपर नीचे हुआ, you will stand and see your crops dying in front of you and you cannot do anything. The pH and the EC maintenance level, if it misses by small margins, your crops will be dead. And from a business point of view, you are back 1 month full. Okay. Now where AI comes into play? In my farm, it is just 2500 square feet. But there are 11 racks. Each rack has 5 floors.
Right.
So I at one point of time am monitoring 1500 pods growing lettuces, all in different stages of growth, all requiring different kinds of that microdosing. Getting my point?
Yeah.
So now हम लोग as humans कर रहे हैं, हर 2 घंटे में चेक कर रहे हैं, परफेक्ट है, कर रहे कुछ हो रहा है ऊपर नीचे, अपन कर रहे हैं उसको, कभी कम हो गया, कभी ज़्यादा हो गया, कभी basically there is always the factor of human error coming into place.
Yeah. So AI monitors everything and makes
AI
sure it
can
stays
monitor
in place.
everything in real time and keep changing that.
So you just mentioned that कि margins बहुत thin है.
Yeah.
Right? So एक error इधर उधर you will see all the crops dying in front of you.
Yep.
But लेट्स गो बैक टू ट्रेडिशनल फार्मिंग.
Yep.
ठीक है, वहाँ पे द मार्जिन्स आर नॉट क्वाइट दिस थिन और फ्रेजाइल. सो व्हाई डिड यू पर्टिकुलरली चूज हाइड्रोपोनिक फार्मिंग?
So
वन ऑफ द रीजंस दैट आई आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन इज इंडिया जो है वो बोलते हैं ना देश की मिट्टी उगले सोना.
we are a agriculture country.
Exactly.
At the core.
Exactly. But at the core, what you are doing is very different from what's happening at the core, like you mentioned. जो agriculture farming हो रहा है, जैसे farmers are still not that educated, not that high level. उनके पास वो technology नहीं है, उनके पास वो availability नहीं है, resources नहीं है. So what they are doing and what you are doing is completely different. And your field has very thin margins, like you said. The margin of error बहुत कम है. Why did you choose this and not the traditional path? Because you anyways come from a background where you want to promote good food, healthy food, right? Make it a lifestyle for the maximum people. But what the maximum people have access to is the normal vegetables, is the normal वहाँ से जो cultivate होके आता है crops, उनको access है normal लोगों को. So why did you choose this and how do you plan on making this accessible to the masses?
Okay. So first we'll start with the first part of the question. What I am doing is not very different from what the traditional farmer is doing.
Okay.
It is not. So you can say hydroponics. So hydroponics has become the big term now, the advertising gimmick. But originally this technology was developed less than 10 years ago, and it was known as the Kratky method.
Okay.
Developed by Professor Kratky.
Kratky. Okay.
He is still alive. You can attend his lectures. He is a botanist in Hawaiian University.
Okay.
He's alive, and I attended his lectures to learn this technology, honestly speaking. Now, your one point is very perfect. Our farmers are not educated. They are not made aware of the latest technologies available. So when we started by saying that India is a land of farmers, what are we doing for our farmers in the last 10 years? And if we were doing anything for the farmers, would you see the farmers marching?
Yeah.
Currently, Maharashtra has the highest death rate, suicide rates in farmers. Why? Maharashtra has the highest suicide rates in farmers. Why is that? Can you tell me that?
Because they are not using the best possible resources. Is it anything
No,
like
because the traditional way of farming is slowly failing.
that? Okay.
We don't take climate change seriously.
या सुसाइड तो वो फार्मर सुसाइड तो बीच में बहुत बड़ा एपिडेमिक जैसा हो गया था.
Yeah.
एवरी फार्मर यू आर लिसनिंग
Yeah.
एवरी अदर डे देयर इज अ न्यूज़.
Right now, you can Google
It's still there.
the number of deaths of farmers in Maharashtra in the last 5 years. It will be in some lakhs.
Lakhs.
Yeah. Go and Google how many farmers have committed suicide.
And I also believe there's a controversial side to it where they always label the death or the cause of death as famine आ गया था या
They can
बारिश नहीं
label,
हुई.
see, they can label anything. Now see, problems with traditional farming you are only pointing out. So that is also equally that dangerous. You are growing your crop, suddenly there is a locust infestation. What are you going to do about it? Like what happened this year? Okay, a lot of farmers, like in Maharashtra, we are the largest producers of cotton because of the black soil, most fertile soil. But what happened this year, you might not know. Right after the cotton crops matured and the balls were ready, there were 3 days of unseasonal rainfall in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
जो suddenly हुआ.
ये साल बहुत अनसीजनल रेनफॉल वैसे भी हुआ है.
It destroyed the standing cotton crops which took a year to grow. अब बता, what are those farmers going to do? Tell me.
So how do you see these farmers being brought to the light when it comes to this education and not be they are not aware? We
This
both agree on
has
the
to
fact.
be a government level thing. Unfortunately, in Maharashtra, it is not. In Karnataka and southern side, hydroponics has been integrated by the central government as a well-practiced agriculture.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what is the difference. What is the traditional farmer doing? When I say traditional farmer, I am also a traditional farmer, but I have had the privilege of getting a good education behind me,
Right.
which has taught me to learn more. So in traditional farming, let us break it down. Let us remove all the hoopla and break it down into its core concept.
Yeah.
We are growing a plant for which the plant requires nutrient from the soil, which it can get when we water. That nutrient gets dissolved in water, and through a process called osmosis, that plant can absorb that water, absorb that nutrient. At the same time, the plant requires sunlight to carry out a process called photosynthesis.
Right.
And through photosynthesis, they prepare their food and give us oxygen, which keeps us alive. Okay? Apart from this, there is nothing else. And it absorbs carbon dioxide from the natural atmosphere
Yeah.
to convert it into glucose and make it into oxygen. Simple. Now, we are on a regular basis facing uncertainty with weather.
Right. That's true.
So,
वो
one of
मुंबई
the...
हो, बैंगलोर हो, दिल्ली हो, कुछ भी हो, कुछ भरोसा ही नहीं है कि कभी बारिश हो रही है,
Okay,
गर्म हो रहा
this is not even a problem of India. This is a global problem now.
है. Right.
This is not an India problem. This is a global problem. Whether you want it or not, climate change is staring you in your face.
Okay.
It is giving you the warning signs. You don't want to look at it, you want to ignore it, it is completely your prerogative. Okay. So, what did I first identify? What is the problem which is being faced in agriculture? Weather change. What does hydroponic allow you to do? If you master it well enough, you can control your conditions.
Yeah.
What is the second biggest problem being faced by agriculture right now? Agriculture requires fertile soil.
Right.
There is very limited availability of agricultural land. Without destroying forest, we cannot create more agricultural land for this ever-growing population. It is impossible. The population is going to grow. And the agricultural land is not going to grow at that pace.
So you believe that when it comes to the agricultural real estate, वहाँ पे scarcity हो गया है.
Major.
But what do you think the reason is?
Because there is only limited earth which can be harvested. You cannot go to a desert and harvest it. Right? You cannot grow.
पर जो है हमारे पास जो है या जो था उसको अब्यूज किया गया है या
देख उसको अब्यूज किया गया है इन द सेंस दैट हमारा सोल्यूशन टू ऑल प्रिवेंशन ऑफ पेस्ट इज भाई फर्टिलाइजर मारते रहो. हमारा what does our government, the only subsidy, the biggest subsidy given to farmers in our country is make fertilizer cheaper.
So you think it is affecting the potency of the land?
Yes, it is poison. Okay, and it is poison for everybody. What are you doing when you are spraying it with pesticide? You are not just killing the flies which are going to come on it. But you're killing all the bacteria in the soil, which is actually the nitrating bacteria, which will keep that soil alive. Organic farming, क्या करते हैं? The leaves are falling down, they are collected as mulch and they are allowed to be worked upon by microbes.
Okay.
The microbes, basically nitrate bacteria and all, they break it down.
Yeah.
Ammonia is broken down in that soil and that fertility comes into that soil. But the fertilizers we are using, and this has not happened suddenly, this is not overnight, this is land abuse from years of
Years and
pesticide.
decades and centuries, I believe. Yes. क्योंकि agriculture was always a thing in India.
Yeah.
Like we said, कि agriculture, India is an agricultural land. तो अभी इतने सालों बाद if the potency of land is lost, तो वो एक दिन या एक साल में तो नहीं हुआ है.
Exactly. So let us get back to that. So I pointed out two big challenges facing the traditional method of agriculture. एक, it is impossible to control
the weather.
climate change.
Yeah.
Two, it is not possible to get more cultivable land. Like if you Google right now, you will get to know per day Brazil and South American countries has been clearing lakhs of acres of the Amazon forest just to continue cultivating soya.
Lakhs of acres.
Lakhs of acres of Brazilian rainforest has disappeared and has been converted into soya.
So matlab, it's so ironic that the thing you need the climate to be perfect for
Yes.
is the same thing
Which
which
you are
is destroying the
destroying.
climate.
Yes.
It's so ironic.
And the worst part is everyone understands this, but money rules. No one is paying for Amazon, but soya is big money. It is the vegan equivalent of chicken. So everybody is growing soya now.
Yeah. So vegans are destroying the planet.
Everyone is destroying the planet. Everyone. So again, there is an ethical part of it, but there is a scientific part of it and a business part of it. So in my mind, these are the challenges. What? Land is not going to be available. Climate change is not going anywhere. Water scarcity. Drinking water scarcity. So again, an example I'll give you. In my system, when I'm growing lettuce, one head of lettuce for that period of 45 days is consuming just 1.5 liters of water.
So the efficiency is matlab
Absolute.
comparable ही नहीं है.
ठीक है? But if you're growing that same head of lettuce, say in your normal traditional agriculture, it will require 150 to 200 liters of water. Bangalore, Bombay, everywhere.
And plus the problems that we just talked about, वो climate हो गया तो फिर
ठीक
क्या
है? So now third problem is there. Fourth problem, you are in Mumbai, you have started experiencing heat like nothing.
winter ही लग रहा है.
नहीं लग रहा है ना? So all these factors, in my mind, that is why I took the risk and my investors took the risk of getting into this business. In my mind, the future of agriculture is here. Why? In my system, you can reclaim abandoned warehouses and convert it into food sources.
हाँ, all you need is real estate and controlled weather.
You need the worst of real estate. You don't need the good real estate. You need the abandoned factories.
But when you talk about this being the future of agriculture, right? अभी उसमें ऐसा तो नहीं बोल सकते कि जो traditional farmers है, you said that you are a traditional farmer, okay? So if we talk about the traditional farmers in today's day and age, and you said कि ये इसको एक scale होना ही पड़ेगा, it has no other option. Hydroponic scaling has no other option. So how do you make the traditional farmer aware so that you don't have to create new farmers for this to be a movement?
So that is what I tell you. The government needs to get involved. We, companies like us, should be allowed to interact with farmers on the big forum. And not just pesticide control and all those things. We should be allowed to teach them. We are trying to reach out to different organizations which work with farmers. But till now we have not received success. See, so here's the thing. Of course, for me, this is a business. But I don't see competition in this business.
हाँ, सबको एक साथ मिलके करना है.
Yes. This, unlike traditional businesses, this is not a fight to make the most amount of money.
There's no throne.
Why? Because the market is literally increasing on a daily basis.
So when we talk, it's very funny you mentioned कि there's no competition, because I completely agree. Because जो market की हम बात कर रहे हैं, it's literally the product that you are producing, it's the product that the whole world is consuming. So there's no...
Okay, bro. So in the time we will be finishing this chat, a few lakh more Indians have been already born.
Exactly.
Who are going to consume this in the next few years.
Exactly. And imagine them consuming the same product which has come from the infertile land and sprayed with pesticides. And
so one of the scariest research papers recently published by a very reputed medical journal. So this is very common. Fishes and all, microplastic has been found in fish.
Yeah. I did an interview with this guy called Paul. His name was Franklin Paul. So he's Christian. Okay. I don't know, religion has nothing to do with this, but it's so intriguing, that's why I mentioned this. गणपति जो फेस्टिवल होता है, ठीक है?
हाँ.
वहाँ पे this Franklin Paul did a whole decor of Ganga Ghat.
Yeah.
And I interviewed him. I got the opportunity.
I saw that interview.
Yeah, you saw it, right? So it was so intriguing कि he's Christian, he believes in Bappa more than most of us maybe, and it wasn't just about the decor. So the Namami Gange का जो initiative है, he gave a shout out to them. He got called up by the UP government. He got called up by Namami Gange. So this is how everyone is initiating that. And I posted an article on it on Twitter, and that was the most reached article. क्योंकि वो microplastics in human beings is such a major issue.
Now I'll tell you something even more dangerous. So in biology, any doctor will tell you this. There is a phenomenon called bioaccumulation.
Okay.
So what happens in bioaccumulation is we keep consuming things over a period of years. Constantly we consume. Now, say pesticide. So when you have say food which is pesticide laden, it will not affect you immediately because some part of it will be removed from the body. But a part of that poison stays in your body.
Yeah.
And now imagine you're having food minimum 3 times a day, every single day. Now extrapolate it over 1 year, 5 years, 10 years.
Compounding.
Even if you say it has been accumulating at 0.0000001 ml per day, not even per meal.
And it's compounding.
That is the thing. Bioaccumulation is this thing gets compounded in your body, and the scariest research is now they have started finding traces of pesticide in fetuses. Newborn children, before in prenatal stages, they have started detecting pesticide in them. Imagine to what extent our body is already polluted.
So I get the research part, okay. Of course this is scary as it gets. But when it comes to your personal approach, अभी ये initiative ऐसा तो नहीं बोल सकते कि just you started this just because you saw the world is suffering from it. You must have personally come across some instances when you felt कि नहीं यार, what am I eating? What am I consuming? So what was that story like? Like what led you to get into this hydroponic? Because you didn't start off your career as a hydroponic farmer, am I right?
No.
So how did you start off as, and then what was the thing that triggered you कि चलो नहीं यार, this is a very big problem. I myself or maybe someone of my loved one has suffered from this, and I believe that this is a massive change and I should get into this.
So, after doing my degree in biotech, I joined the traditional pharma industry.
Okay.
And I had a good understanding of how body works and everything. And the more I studied the pharma industry, the more I started hating it. Because I started realizing that everything which is being passed on as medicine, it's long-term poison for your body. Long-term poison. I can give you live examples. You can Google these things out. Current bacteria, Staphylococcus, which is the most commonly
Occurring
bacteria, they have started developing antibiotic resistance. So in a few years, all these paracetamol and all are going to be useless, and we are going to suffer from all these diseases without a cure. Why? Because you're pumping our body with medicines. Second thing, so when I got out of it, I did not like the pharma industry. There are some incidences. I will not name the company because it is not right. But they were about to launch a medicine which is critical for asthma patients. And the job which was assigned to me was, they gave me areas, like because I was a fresher at that time, they gave me Kalyan, Ambarnath, Dombivli downside. And my work was to go to the various doctors over there and not tell them anything about the medicine. I used to actually offer them, if you sell this much in a year, you will get a car.
You're doing field sales.
If you sell this much in a year, you will get a European holiday for your family.
Are you serious?
I can tell you the place where every year during Christmas they conduct a
Seminar.
brunch for all the top doctors, and they are given gifts in which the worst is a 4-wheeler. and they are given gifts based upon how many clients. So this is how it works. An asthma patient or a cancer patient is going to be a cancer patient till he recovers. See, okay, let us take a more common disease.
If he recovers.
If he recovers. Let us take a more common disease. A doctor is able to give you one diabetic patient. The current age of the diabetic patient is 40.
40.
He's going to spend at least
The next
200 rupees on medicine every day for the next 40 years of his life. For the company, you're not even a human being. You're just an account number. जिससे इतना आना चाहिए. And I've seen them. Stage 4 है, तो we expect this much recovery from him over his lifetime.
serious?
Stage 3 है, even better, longer time. We will get more.
Are you serious?
Yes, this is how it works. This is the value I saw of human life. At which point I gave up on that industry and I left. And I completely left that industry, biotech, everything. I went and I was working in a colleague's company which was an import-export for architectural glass, completely void of it. But I also had a MBA degree at that time. So I was learning business. While I was learning that, I spent good 5-6 years building that business. During that time, I got a better understanding of what business means, how running a company is, what are the aspects which an individual requires to understand when building your own business. What are the difficulties? That was my exposure. And during all that time, I had a soft spot for biotechnology.
Obviously, मतलब roots को तो कोई भूल नहीं सकता है.
It was always my dream to someday be able to go abroad and study a technology called CRISPR. We will not get into that because that is a fantastic thing and that discussion is not going to end if you get in with me. It won't. Because I'm in love with that subject. I think
But just the gist of it, what is it about?
CRISPR gives us the power to alter our genetic. I can't. CRISPR can create designer babies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not even kidding.
So maybe I should study it.
And that this technology has existed for the past 15-20 years.
So
It's not
relatively new.
It's been existent for a while now. But it has not come into the mainstream. It won't come into the mainstream. The implications are mind-boggling.
So, when you mention genetics and what you are currently doing with hydroponics, do you think it's massively related? Because I do believe so. So there's a very interesting conversation how rich people have the most beautiful and the most gore kind of kids, and the conversation revolves around the kind of foods that these rich people eat.
Absolutely. Now, one of the reasons why. So, I'll continue that chain. I kept studying. कोई भी paper आता था. I used to read about it. And in 2017, 2018, I came across some YouTube videos about hydroponics in US. And I came about a company called Plenty. Yes, that is currently the biggest hydroponic company in the world. One of the biggest shareholders of that company is the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
And that is how I got to know about that company. And I got very interested. And I went on their website. And I started checking out, they had a virtual tour. I started checking out the virtual tour. And it looked like something out of a sci-fi novel. I was like, I don't think this is real, man. What is this? So in my spare time, and I'm actually weird like that, I actually run experiments in my bedroom and all. I do this kind of shit. So in my spare time, I started reading upon hydroponics and the lectures I told you, the Kratky lectures, I started
Taking those, yeah.
Yes. So on his YouTube channel, he has all his recorded there. And I just, every free minute I got, I had his headphones on and it just clicked. The first hydroponic kit I made was out of a isopure protein ka dabba. I just wanted to see agar main usme pani dalu. I didn't even use. So one of the biggest reasons why hydroponics has suddenly come into the picture in the past few years is because of China and the advancement they have done in LED technology.
Right.
That was not available, and that is why this
How
technology.
does it work? How does it work? Just take us through that. How does the LED technology?
So, LED technology has existed for a very long time. But for hydroponics to succeed, we needed light which could match the intensity of sunlight.
It's not an easy job.
It's a very difficult job. Also matching the spectrum. So you remember sunlight if broken down is Vibgyor.
Yeah.
बचपन में सिखाया था याद है हाँ so वो सारा spectrum of light does not promote photosynthesis.
Okay.
Only 3 of them do,
Okay.
which is pink blue, which is the main spectrum light absorbed.
Yeah.
So we needed a light spectrum which focuses on that and which will allow us to grow. Now the second immediate implication is अच्छा अभी लाइट डाल दिया तो कॉस्ट आ गया अब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का क्या करें पैसा लग गया ना now we are waiting for the advancement in solar tech
Okay.
and clean energy fuels which will bring our cost maybe to zero.
Zero.
Just the seed cost. I can use AI to run the farms. I can use actual farmers.
But AI is costing you, right?
One time cost.
So how do you bring this to?
But I
The-
don't want to depend on AI. What I want to do is get the actual farmers to our farms and then train them. See, we are looking at a very small picture of hydroponics. My farm is catering to less than 0.1% of the potential of hydroponics. Okay, let me give you some examples. In my current farm, I am growing the most sensitive items,
Right.
which are the greens, lettuces, microgreens. Why? Those are the ones which have the shortest shelf life.
Okay.
As soon as you harvest them, when I say harvest, as soon as you cut the roots of lettuce, you have exactly 72 hours to consume that. After that, you are just paying for the branding.
70 hours.
72 hours, 3 days.
So what about the lettuces which prevail in traditional fast food? Where does it come from?
Oh, they have got nothing to do with nutrition. That is playing on their mind that, oh, you are having a salad. Oh, that's so good for you.
Is it?
Yeah. They are coming from Dadar market. You guys are social media experts, right? Haven't you seen the videos where they take that dried up and they put that phenol on it and it's real, bro. It's not a joke. Okay, have you ever been behind a truck in Dadar, जहाँ पे दादर मंडी में truck आ You get that smell?
Yeah.
That foul rotting smell? Yeah, that is what you're buying after that. That foul rotting smell is those lettuces and greens reaching from Nashik or some weird ass, some from Hyderabad.
But then how do you tackle this on a larger scale? Because I am seeing two pictures here, okay? One is where you are genuinely trying to bring hydroponic to the light, more than hydroponic bringing organic food to the light, okay? And then there's other picture where जहाँ पे traditional farming हो रहा है, agriculture हो रहा है, और the farmers aren't educated and they are keeping the same, they are making the same produce, और फिर ये the logistics that you mentioned, the logistical limitations. So how do you build a bridge between these two?
So that's
क्योंकि मुझे और एक let me just tell you what I genuinely think.
Bridging the gap.
हाँ, so bridging the, so how do you see this? क्योंकि मुझे क्या लगता है कि अगर हाइड्रोपोनिक को इतना मास स्केलिंग करना है तो इट्स नॉट जस्ट यू हु नीड्स टू बी इन्वॉल्व, लाइक यू सेड गवर्नमेंट को आना पड़ेगा, पर जो एफिशिएंसी इसमें है उसमें पैसा डालना पड़ेगा. यू so the government can't just give you grants for a fertilizer and you can scale this.
No, the
So how do you
government doesn't need to give me grants. The government needs to give me subsidies on solar. The solar batteries which are coming in right now, वो बाहर से import हो रहा है with a massive import duty on it. You need to subsidize that. You need to make wind energy more efficient.
But then what about the costs? क्योंकि अगर मैं बाजार से कुछ लेटस खरीद रहा हूँ, लेटस का एग्जांपल लेते हैं, बाजार से लेटस खरीद रहा हूँ और लेट्स से आई परचेज अ पाउंड ऑफ लेटस फ्रॉम यू, व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट?
Where are you? So that cost will depend on where are you buying your lettuce from.
लेट्स टॉक अबाउट नॉर्मल इंडियंस ना.
I'm talking about normal Indians. If you go to the other market,
पत्ता गोभी ले लो. Lettuce is
ठीक है, चल,
lettuce is
पत्ता गोभी
fancy. हाँ.
No. Lettuce is today. It is not fancy anymore.
It is because of the fast food chains.
Yeah.
Nobody is buying lettuce at their home, I believe. The masses, masses that we are talking
So
about.
when I started my company, it was not such a big scale. The first farm I built was in my bedroom.
Yeah.
So when I built that farm, my clientele, you will not believe, were people who were ordering every weekend to weekend a salad bag from me.
So you
Two
started
heads.
off as an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
selling
one by one.
genuine salads.
Yeah. No salad bags. I did not do any fancy stuff. I don't want to sell you any dressing. I don't even want to make money out of that. My effort has gone into growing lettuce heads which are completely chemical free. I want you to enjoy it. It has cost me 40 rupees to grow. I'm happy to give you at 45. Take it from me. But then comes the logistic problem. Now, अभी मैंने बड़ा farm डाला है. And our objective next year is to get back, because when you put up a big farm, as a business point of view, you get a big overhead on your head.
That's true.
And to get or break even in that overhead, you need to first target the big guys. Big guys in the sense, the 5-star hotels who will have to go back to giving it to individuals. How do I overcome the logistic part problem? How? अभी मैंने तुझे क्या बोला? Lettuces are coming from where the farm is.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the farm to you. My farm is in Thane. You can come to my farm and take your lettuce pack from outside.
So you're killing all the middlemen.
I'm not just kidding. I'm not killing the middleman. The middleman can come in. Every vegetable vendor is welcome here. Come to my farm or leke ja. You're not getting that lettuce 5 days, 6 days, 7 days after it is harvested. जब भी तुम आ रहे हो मेरे फार्म पे तभी हार्वेस्ट हो रहा है. तुम 2 घंटे बाद बेच रहे हो.
But then how do you maintain the business point of view of the vendor? For example, कोई vendor आ रहा है, उसने आपसे let's say 10 kg lettuce खरीदा, ठीक है, and now he wants to sell it on the street. Now you are saying the potency or the life of the lettuce is 3 days, 7 to 2 hours. पर उसका बिका नहीं 3 दिन में.
बट तुम मुझसे 10 किलो एक साथ मत लेके जाना.
तो उसका फायदा कैसा?
तुम 10 किलो बुक करो मेरे पास. और जैसे दिस इज व्हाई आई गॉट द फार्म टू यू.
So it's convenient for you.
Yes.
But then how much is it costing the customer? Like we talked about, अगर 1
much
kg
lesser
lettuce,
than what is being charged right now. So if you go to Nature's Basket, which is the bottom rung of the high class, you're buying a head of lettuce which is 7 to 8 days old, and this has happened in front of me. So they put a harvest date behind it, but they do it in a rubber stamp.
okay,
So every 2-3 days it can be washed off and the new stamp can be put over there.
and they do it.
Oh, they do it like blatantly. It's money, dude. Come on. This should not be a surprise to you. Money. No one.
It's not a surprise for
No,
sure.
this is how little corporates value. This is why we don't want to become a corporate. We want to become a community business.
But don't you think each and every business, I'm not downplaying your credibility at all, okay, let me be very clear, but don't you think every business that has gotten into the organic space, आज जो organic businesses है which you mentioned that they have shifted, don't you think there's a very commercial reason for this? क्योंकि everyone starts with a good purpose, but whether they are able to fulfill that purpose or whether they can sustain with that purpose is a very big question mark.
Absolutely.
So don't you think कि उन लोग ने भी एक similar purpose से, if not the same, for sure शुरू किया होगा?
Yes.
But then it's costing them a lot. It's hurting their pockets. So now they are doing this gray. They are functioning in this gray area where you are not completely aware, but they are not completely lying to you.
I'm not saying they're lying.
Exactly, they are not completely lying.
The problem arises again. They have found one problem and they have solved that problem.
Which is?
Reduce the use of chemical residue in your crops. Right? Perfect. But a business, a real business, because I consider this business to go way beyond my lifetime.
Okay, yeah,
What I'm starting
it
right
has
now.
to sustain for centuries.
It is not going to finish. My objective is not going to finish in my lifetime. Okay. They have still not solved the rest of the problem which I told you. Land is still a problem. You still require insane amounts of clean drinking water. And the worst part about organics is because it is in the open, there is no way to stop there is no way to do pest control. ठीक है? You are not using any kind of growth enhancers. Okay? So your per acre production is by default less than what the chemicalized part is using. Now as Indians, हमारा mindset is very real, which is it is always finance based. ठीक है? So if you go to Nature's Basket today, you will buy one head of lettuce, which after cutting, chatting, सब कुछ करने के बाद would be 70 to 80 grams.
Okay.
And it will cost you 100 rupees. And as the day go by, you will see that cost going down. I actually did this for 5 weeks in all Nature's Basket from Thane till Pune.
Okay.
And you will actually see this every next day if you go to that rack and see cost 10 रुपया कम हो गया, 20 रुपया कम हो गया.
Stock
At
market
that
जैसा.
time they are just trying to
Get it
cut
out of the
losses.
shelf, yeah.
Cut losses. They don't care what you are suffering from. Okay, but I don't want to be a corporate because see now why did I take the pain to come all the way to Bombay to set it up? I literally we had to fight and get whatever basic subsidy we could. We are literally selling at break even cost. We don't want to. So when I was selling lettuces, one head was sold for 30 to 40 rupees.
And it's 10 times the better quality what the usual grocery stores
Oh,
are selling.
I don't even consider. They are not even like
Lettuce.
क्वालिटी नहीं है हमारे साथ. यार सिंपल चीज़ है. बचपन में तुम्हारे दादाजी दादी माँ बोलते थे खाना का टेस्ट अच्छा हो रहा है क्योंकि घर के बाहर से सीधा आप उसको हार्वेस्ट करते हो, सीधा घर पे लाते हो. खाने का टेस्ट, न्यूट्रिशन पूरा बदल जाता है. ओके, इंडिया का 90% फूड वेस्टेज इज इन दी ट्रांजिट.
Right. So you are killing the transit.
या
But then you will be villain to millions. No?
व्हाई
Because they lost their jobs.
Why do I have to grow lettuce in Nashik to feed Thane?
क्योंकि बीच में जो नासिक से थाने लेके आ रहा है उनकी भी रोटी पल रही है ना.
पलने दो.
वो कैसे पालोगे?
बट उसके लिए अलग चीजें करो, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सेंटर्स डालो, उनको अपने बिजनेस में इंटीग्रेट करो. हाउ? आई टेल यू. ठीक है, तुम लेटस नहीं उगा सकते वहां पे, बट दीज आर द सॉल्यूशंस. सम ऑफ द थिंग्स व्हिच वी हैव आइडेंटिफाइड. करंटली द फार्म्स व्हिच वी आर वर्किंग हैंड इन हैंड विद, 2 of the farms in Jalgaon and 1 in Ratnagiri, we have successfully done R&D and cracked Brazilian peppers, more than 20 varieties,
जलगांव में.
using hydroponics.
हाँ मतलब वही. So when
तो
I said
उससे मैंने एक प्रोडक्ट हटा दिया, बट उसको मैंने ज्यादा प्रॉफिटेबल प्रोडक्ट दे दिया.
कौन सा प्रोडक्ट हटाया? You mentioned.
लेटस वेटस हटा दिया उससे,
हाँ.
बट मैंने उसको दिया बर्ड्स आई चिली.
Which is much more sustainable than
वो
lettuce.
2000 रुपया केजी में बिक रहा है.
और वो उसका लाइफ कितना?
उसका लाइफ 2 साल है, कोई टेंशन ही नहीं है.
So exactly. So it's very funny because when I said जलगांव में, मेरे दिमाग में ये चल रहा था कि अरे वहाँ
क्या
क्या
उगाएगा?
क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस होगा, वहाँ क्या लैंड होगा, ऐसा
बराबर.
वैसा.
जलगांव में स्नैकिंग पेपर्स उगा रहा है जो लास्ट ईयर तक सिर्फ हम लोग को इंपोर्ट करना पड़ता था, जलगांव से आ रहा है अभी. इट इज अबाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड मॉडिफाइंग. इट इज नॉट अबाउट कटिंग एनीबडी. तो तुम जो बोल रहे हो ना ट्रांसपोर्ट वाला क्या करेगा, ट्रांसपोर्ट वाला वो लेके आएगा वहां से नॉन पेरिशेबल आइटम्स.
पर नहीं ना. See what I feel is not everyone's eating Brazilian peppers.
ब्राजीलियन पेपर्स वाज वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल्स फॉर हाई एंड क्रॉप्स. ऐसे तेरे पास 70-80 वैरायटी ऑफ पेपर्स है. मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स है.
But now that you mention कि जो farmers है वो लोग बाहर उगाते और घर लेके आते वो खाते, so the quality of food matters. So what was one of the biggest changes that you noticed in your life when you shifted from the traditional vegetables which you don't believe are quality vegetables to the organic vegetables which you yourself used to
So
grow?
I don't want to like sound arrogant and all, but I'm 40 years old and I'm as fit as I have ever been in my life.
You're 40.
Yeah.
You don't look 40.
Yeah, but I am 40. I don't take any supplements. I don't touch protein shakes. I don't eat outside. For the past 2 years since this business has started, I have been the poster child. I have been the experimental rat of my company.
So that's the badass. That's the most badass a person can ever be.
How do I
दूसरों
sell
को
something to somebody else if I don't believe in it? Isn't that right? I can talk to you with so much conviction because you can look at me and
See the results.
Yeah.
So how was life before that? Because you didn't always consume organic
Oh
foods,
no. See, I have had so many problems in my life. So many physical problems. Very early in my life, I got diagnosed with something which caused the right side of my body to be in semi-paralysis. And this was in my 20s.
And that was because of food, you believe?
It could have been because of multiple things. But I was not getting better. I was overweight. Good food helped me get over depression, dude. There is nothing more addictive than good food. Name one thing which is more addictive throughout.
Yeah, it's very coincidental that you mentioned this because Joe Rogan podcast, you might know about
Yeah.
it. Joe Rogan's mentions about this ki he's 50 plus and he's still in great shape. So he mentions ki whatever the pharma companies tell you or whenever you are suffering with small things like flu, cold, cough, never go to any doctors.
Never.
Your food is the biggest cure.
Absolutely. Unless you have broken a bone, our body is the most amazing machine ever developed.
Yeah.
The only reason I believe there might be a God somewhere is because of the beauty our physical body is. Do you know the only thing ever made on earth which the more you use gets stronger? The human muscle. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Tell me one other thing which the more you use does not wear and tear. But
Yeah,
the
when you
beauty,
put it like this, मतलब वो बहुत अलग perspective है.
I'm telling you, I was unhealthy till I was 24, 25. I started building myself up after 30, 35. Look at me now. I've never been in this shape. I practice martial arts at this age. I'm learning. And it is all because of what I'm consuming. My family hates me, dude. I come from a Bengali family. They don't invite me to family gatherings. They are like, we can't eat like you, get lost.
So how does this affect your social life? क्योंकि
Oh, I don't
initiative
have a
तो बहुत-
social life. Bro, when you're doing projects like this, so see, that is why I don't recommend people to get into entrepreneurship, especially first time entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Life is hell. Life is lonely. In the sense, there is a vision and a dream which only you can see. And everybody else thinks there is something very wrong with you.
You're an outcast, basically.
2 years when I was running the farm in my bedroom, dude, the kind of things I heard from people. What the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing over here? Is this making sense? You have so many years of education. You are trying to grow this in your bedroom. Where is the business? Today, after 3 years, they are like, holy shit.
So when you say that your own family members or your closest circle didn't believe in you,
Oh, yeah.
so do you think this would be a good way to start for you to make the masses aware first so that the masses can support your vision and then you can go through the traditional route of approaching the government and making the farmers aware and making this a big movement?
See, first of all, you need to have confidence. And you can only get confidence once you get into that gutter and get into that mud of it.
Yeah, but now that you have seen the results, especially on your
They're
side,
still working on it. See, there are two aspects to this. At one stage, when everybody was laughing at this project, I also found support in a couple of people without whom this project would not have happened at all. It would never have stepped out of my bedroom. Like, I would like to mention, like my partner Aditya Shetty, he's not here today. He stays in Kuwait. He's a pilot. He is my childhood friend. Like, those rare moments. You have a few in your life.
yeah,
You spent your life with. When I had nothing but just tinkering around in my bedroom, He was from my background in biotech, but he left that and he's one of the youngest captains in the world.
Okay.
He works as a captain. Like at the age of 40, he's already 5 years a captain. Okay, he's at the peak of his year. He told me, bro, let's make this big because I see something in it.
Amazing.
You don't need the community to stand behind you. You need the support of those 2-3 people who can see that vision.
Yeah,
with you.
I get your point, and it's very respectable.
And it was not just him saying that. He put his money behind it.
Yeah.
Words are cheap, bro.
Actions make the difference.
He put his money behind it. And till date he's doing it. If you have that one support with you, then you can start that fight. Because it is wrong to say, oh man, entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. I got across. Nah, it doesn't happen. You cannot build something like this alone.
Yeah, that's true. You cannot build anything alone.
Yeah, nothing good comes alone. You need very supportive people around you. Like my agronomist. I have an agronomist with me whose name is Harsh Bharadwaj. He's from a banking background. I'm ex-banker. He found hydroponics a few years ago. He gave up banking. He started experimenting in his house. He shifted to outskirts of Vada, where he could take a land and experimented hydroponics for 4-5 years.
So now that you mention land, let's say we want to scale this, okay? Let's say I tell you, okay, Ankit, I'm interested in putting up my own hydroponic farm. I have the resources, matlab sirf monetary resources, but I don't have the land. I don't have any big rooms. I live in one RK. It's a rented flat, but I do have the money. How do we go about this? And how much does it cost for one to start a, let's say एक basic कोई भी vegetable ले लो. अभी हम lettuce की इतना बात कर रहे हैं, so let's take lettuce. So how much does it cost me to maybe इतना सा एरिया में एक lettuce का फार्म चलाना है या शुरू करना है? Because land is a very big issue. आज लोग 40 साल 50 साल लाइफ का घिस के अगले 50 साल सिर्फ EMI भर रहे एक घर का. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी बिग इशू. एंड लाइक यू सेड फर्टाइल लैंड तो है ही नहीं. सो एग्रीकल्चरल का वो तो निकल ही गया, वो तो टॉपिक के बाहर. बट नाउ यू नीड सम काइंड ऑफ एनक्लोज्ड स्पेस. अभी हाइपोथेटिकली बोलने को इट साउंड्स वेरी इंट्रीगिंग कि नहीं मैं वॉशरूम में उगा सकता हूँ, मैं बाथरूम में उगा सकता हूँ. इट्स ट्रू, ऑब्वियसली यू आर द एक्सपर्ट, बट आई डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ स्पेस, बट आई सपोर्ट योर इनिशिएटिव और आई वॉन्ट टू टेक अ पार्ट इन दिस. How do I go about this?
So it's not difficult. First and foremost, I would advise anybody who wants to do this, stay away from hydroponic experts on social media. They don't know what they are doing. They are just there to
Catch the trend.
encash the trend. Let me just put it very bluntly. They are just trying to encash that trend. Okay? If anybody wants to get into it, my first advice is get your hands dirty. Get in touch with me. I'll tell you, Amazon में जा ये खरीद. सब कुछ अवेलेबल है. Knowledge भी अवेलेबल है. Again, I told you, I don't see a fellow person learning hydroponics as my competition. I see him as someone who is understanding the problems and getting
He's your
into
partner,
it.
basically.
Yeah. Because for us to cater to an ever increasing population, we need an ever increasing number of production capacity.
Exactly. You can't have it all by yourself.
No.
मेरे को ही चाहिए.
नहीं कर सकते यार. अगर मेरे को कल जेफ बेजोस पैसा दे दे तो भी नहीं कर सकता. There is a reality. There is a ground reality. Then it will come across. Ab, where is it that you want to do? Okay, so since I have selected initially the most the crops with the least life cycle, the reason for doing that is my target was first to encash on 5-star hotels. So I did a study. What do 5-star hotels need the most? Which they find the most difficult to find in quality and consistent supply. The answer was greens. Across the border सब सलाद बनाते हैं, but उनका availability is very seasonal.
Right.
and the qualities कुछ आता पता ही
Let's
नहीं
not talk about it.
So then we created a farm which is located in their driving distance, and we started inviting them, and no one did them for that because nobody's running a farm.
So you created it without them knowing,
Yeah.
and then you invited them.
Yes, that is the confidence you need in yourself,
Yeah.
and your partner needs in you.
Yeah.
आदित्य saw that जो बेडरूम में किया है ना वो ये कर सकता है, and trust me कोई नहीं आया था. The quotations I got from these experts in hydroponics सब करोड़ 2 करोड़ दिया, ठीक है, to build that farm.
अभी एक आइसोप्योर के डिब्बे में शुरू करने वाले को क्या करोड़ रुपए बता रहे हो तुम?
ठीक है. मैंने 25 लाख में फार्म बनाया. मैंने सब सेकेंड हैंड में सामान खरीदा. मैं चोर बाजार से स्टैंड के लोखंड लेके आया. Again, I cannot take the credit. I had a very good team supporting me at that point of time. Everybody banded together. They trusted the vision I was showing them. No one had seen a indoor farm in India till then. Nobody. But I had confidence in my theoretical knowledge. That nahi, I understand what is happening. I understand what is the temperature control. Let me give you a very basic example. So in an enclosed area, like in this area, for this to be cooled down, that AC is working. And it is constantly throwing air in and out. So in my that 5,000 square feet area, when we got the experts to tell us how to maintain the airflow inside, we got quotations ranging from 20 lakh to 45 lakhs.
Just for the ventilation.
Just ventilation ducts. ठीक है, HEPA filter, ये filter, वो filter, हजारों चीज. Said what the fuck, dude. We went back to the Plenty ka website. On that website, it is clearly mentioned. So in my farm, at any point of time, 1140 watt lights are on. So over there is a mathematical equation given कि you can calculate, if you know the watt, you can calculate exactly कितना heat generate हो रहा है. And based upon that lux capacity, you can calculate exactly कितना टन AC चाहिए उसको maintain करने को.
Okay.
डिफिकल्ट है? नहीं है.
मैथमेटिकल.
We did the mathematics, we realized that अरे 10 टन AC में काम हो जाता है यार. चाहिए ही नहीं वो सब. But again, that was me having the belief that what I understand in my head is right.
Yeah, believing in your theory is also a very difficult thing to do, because more often than not हम पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है, we read things, we understand those things,
We don't analyze them.
Yeah, we try those things on our own, but when it comes to showing off to the masses, or when it comes to scaling it down, we tend to doubt our own theory.
Now see the gamble I had to take. At that point of time, farm 90% बन चुका है. The final part is that my investor is saying 20 lakhs is not feasible right now, 20-30 lakhs. The expert who's designing my farm is saying, boss आपने जो calculation किया है, and I'm paying that guy a huge sum of money for his consultancy. ये जो आपने किया है, ये काम करेगा कि नहीं करेगा, it is on you. If it doesn't work, you cannot blame me. I'll take my money and go.
ये उसने बोला.
एक्सपर्ट बता रहा है मुझे.
हाँ.
ठीक है, ये जो आप लक्स कैलकुलेशन बता रहे हो, 10 टन एसी बता रहे हो, आई डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड दैट.
So how is he a consultant? How is he an expert?
Oh, he knows how to grow.
अच्छा.
No, dude, I'm telling you, making a basic hydroponic farm is कुछ नहीं. ऊपर छपरा लगा दिया, नीचे पाइप लगा दिया, पानी बहा रहे हो गया. बट जब आप डीप में जा रहे हो कि अभी मैं टेम्परेचर कंट्रोल करूंगा बिकॉज आई वॉन्ट टू ग्रो द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट क्रॉप्स, तब आ जाता है आपका पर्सनल एक्सपर्टीज. आई टुक अ गैम्बल. आई नो मैं जो पढ़ रहा हूं यहाँ पे, इफ दिस इज राइट देन माई कैलकुलेशन इज राइट, एंड इफ द मैथमेटिक्स इज राइट दिस शुड वर्क. मैंने बोला ओके, इट्स ऑन मी. नहीं काम किया तो आई टुक दैट रिस्क. इट्स अ गैम्बल ऑन मी. टर्न आउट हमने 4 AC लगाया 8 टन का, और 30 दिन में फर्स्ट साइकिल में फुल फार्म ग्रो हो गया. इट वाज अ गैम्बल. बट वो 30 दिन है ना, मेरी फटी पड़ी थी पे. हमारा टेंशन, मेरा टेंशन नहीं खत्म हो रहा है.
Entrepreneurial stress.
That is what you have to believe in.
But you didn't answer my question when I asked कि एक normal इंसान मेरे जैसा, if I have the resources, how do I get started with it?
So that is what I'm saying. You can then talk to me. I will sit with you. तूने what where is it that you want to grow? Then I'll study what is your capacity, investment capacity. Why? So let's say one of the most common things which is required throughout is cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
आज के तारीख में बहुत कंज्यूम होता है. Cherry tomatoes from the time तुम seeding करते हो till that final product can be anywhere between 8 months to a year. But once that first fruiting happens, then it will keep giving for the next 2 to 3 years.
Right.
So do you have the holding capacity for that?
उतना होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं 1 महीने के लिए क्या छोड़ दिया.
अब लेटस एक महीने में उग रहा है, तो उसका मैंने 30 डे साइकिल बनाया. बट बेल पेपर 4 से 5 महीने में उग रहा है, तो उसका मैंने वो साइकिल बनाया है. चेरी टमेटोज अलग तरीके से. जुकीनी, टुडे पीपल आर कंज्यूमिंग जुकीनी अ लॉट. अगेन अ कंप्लीटली हाइड्रोपोनिक प्रोडक्ट. बिकॉज
बट 2 questions. Okay. अभी ये कॉन्वर्सेशन में से आई हैव 2 very important questions. First of all, you said the way you penetrate into this market is by catering to 5-star first.
Yeah.
Okay. अभी इसमें एक issue, one of the first issues that I noticed is when you talk about this, the hydroponic being a mass movement, you can't start from the top, is what I believe in any business. अगर मैं एक कॉफ़ी बेच रहा हूँ, so for example this cup of coffee, if I'm selling it in a 5-star hotel, it's for 500 rupees. If I'm drinking it in some cafe, it's 200 rupees. अगर मैं और नीचे आता हूँ तो it's 50 rupees. When you talk about the masses of India, the maximum people are drinking the 50 rupee coffee. And if you are showing them a 500 rupee coffee, they are just in awe of it, but they don't want to ever consume it. So that is the first problem that I noticed, and the first thing that I want to ask you कि वो how do you come from top to the bottom, जो top of the food chain है. So when you talk about 5-star, कितने लोग जाते हैं 5-star में? Of the crores of people that we have in Mumbai, let's just talk about Mumbai. कितने लोग जा रहे हैं? So how do you come down from it?
okay, so 5 stars and some of the list of my customers you might be very aware of. You know Suzette's chain of restaurant, Kitchen
I've heard
Garden.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, then there is Pompa. There is Aditya Birla,
Okay.
Hakasan, Yaucha, Chinchin, Ode. Now, why target these restaurants? There is a geography which I understood when I was running the retail business from my house. My majority of the... So, I was operating single-handedly. My orders used to come through Instagram. So, majority of my orders used to come from places like Bandra, Andheri, Juhu, where people have already adopted that European food habits. Now, why target those restaurants instead of those individuals? Because abhi tak, the most common feedback I got in 2 years' time when I was doing the retail businesses, after buying, the client always used to ask, can you also share recipes of what I can actually make using this? So when I used to send them, what they used to get is 300 grams, matlab 2 heads of lettuce, about 100 grams of cherry tomatoes. They used to get 2 bell peppers, red and yellow, and they used to get about 100 to 150 grams of zucchini. These are the things which I had identified basically would make the base of any kind of salad you want to make. Okay, so this was about a 500 gram pack which I used to sell for 250 rupees. That's it. Now, tell me how to make this. I am not a chef. And nor do I have interest in getting into that part. But from a business point of view, and you are a businessman, I am a businessman, any business, for it to survive, first needs orders which are consistent. So when I approach a 5-star or a restaurant, it is operating on a daily basis. Its requirement is on a daily basis. Its consumption is on a daily basis. And today, every buffet, why 5-star? Go to 4-star. Go to 3-star. Go to a normal, good place and sit in meadows. All of them have salads on their menu. Now that is fixed daily requirement. I need those contracts to break even as a
Businessman.
business. because they're consistent orders.
So I get the business perspective.
Okay.
Then how do you penetrate down?
Now down comes once my business has stabilized. Now I start advertising to one-on-one people. I open up that market. That okay, 3 days delivery, 1 day on Wednesdays, you can place your order directly on our Instagram page and everyone in Bandra will get their delivery. It's a logistic issue. और कुछ नहीं है. I can do that now. But what happens is if someone from Bandra orders 1 pack now, my delivery charge is more than the cost of the bag. But at that same time, if I get 5 orders from Bandra, my delivery charge goes down divided by 5. Say 1 delivery is 250 rupees, 5 deliveries 300 rupees.
But when you talk about one-on-one consultation, it's with whom? Which kind of people?
Anyone who wants to consume. They can reach us through our Instagram pages, through our website.
See, but there's a gap that I'm noticing, Ankit. First, we talk about hydroponics being a very big movement, right? And we talk about the government getting involved in this and
One sec.
granting the
See,
subsidies.
it's not a
and
movement. What I had explained to you before is agriculture is the oldest practiced
I get it. Yeah.
from years. After hundreds of years, hydroponics is the first real technological advancement in this field.
That's true. So, when we talk about penetration in the whole country, because we talk about land issues, climate issues, so the
Water.
water issues. So the traditional agricultural methods aren't sustainable and they can't create the best produce possible available to a human being, available to an Indian. Let's talk about India first. Then what we are talking about right now, like your current consumer base and what you're talking about, whoever wants to consume can consult me. So we are talking about the privileged. But when we talk about the graph, जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको इनकम ग्राफ है और द काइंड ऑफ पीपल दैट एग्जिस्ट इन इंडिया जो इनकम लेवल्स है पुअर क्लास मिडिल क्लास एंड द हाई क्लास. तो अगर आप हाई क्लास को पहले टारगेट कर रहे हो, आई गेट द बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, ओके, बट देन द पुअर क्लास और द मिडिल क्लास will always look at you as some aspiring level instead of something that they can personally do. कि नहीं ये तो अमीरों वाला काम है. Because even with the vegetables you mentioned, bell pepper, lettuce, cherry tomatoes, zucchini, mushrooms, I don't think these vegetables are yet a staple in the normal families.
There is a reason for it. Why they are not staple. One is Indian food habits are different. Traditional food habits, which are absolutely changing slowly as we are getting exposed to more international culture. Okay. Say 5 years ago, अगर किसी को बोलते थे कि लंच में सैलड खाना है तो they would laugh at you, भाई कुछ खाना होता है क्या, दाल चावल खाते हैं. But as people are traveling more abroad, when they are coming back, they are coming back with different perspectives of eating habits. Second, when I'm able to scale my business to a certain extent, I'm able to bring that cost down from the privileged to the common. जैसे मेरा प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी मैक्सिमाइज होता है, आज मुझे अगर 40 रुपीज़ लग रहा है 1000 हेड्स उगाने को, कल मेरा कोशिश रहेगा उसी को उतार के 25-30 रुपीज़ में लाने को एंड मेक अ वॉल्यूम सेल. I don't want to sell one head at 1000 rupees and keep big profit margins. I want to keep 2 rupees margins and have 1000 people eat it across the border.
But along with making it accessible, are we also looking at changing the habits? Because
Habits?
if the habits aren't changed, I don't think.
See, habits you cannot change as a company. This is the thing. 4 years ago, hydroponics was not a profitable business. When I started experimenting with it, hydroponics was not that profitable. But I had the foresight of understanding how market would work over the next 2 to 3 years accepting that product. So one thing you have to have is also vision, a timeline. It's not just about profit and loss. It is also about how each year on year your business will change shape. So now when you say how can we get it to the masses? Now we are sitting over here. There is a building right in front of us. We can approach them as a society and set up not everything in hydroponics, but certain things. Like they might have a basement parking lot, which is not used. We can grow microgreens for them over there. It is a very simple thing. It is very highly nutritious. And if they go to buy it in the market, they can't. Impossible.
But no, don't you think कि वो जो पर्सनल इन्वॉल्वमेंट होता है खुद का खाना उगाने में वो नहीं है लोगों में, स्पेशली इन द नॉर्मल पीपल.
यार हमारे यहाँ पे सोने को जगह नहीं है, यार प्रैक्टिस कहाँ करेगा?
Exactly.
Even if they want to do.
So then what is your vision? Can you describe your vision in just 2 to 3 lines? Or I know it's tough, but can you describe your vision in 2 to 3 lines?
See,
which is easier to
our
understand.
company's vision is very simple. Our company's vision is to make, just like you pointed, these particular products which are considered to be extremely out of reach for common people, we want it to be accessible to everybody. I am from a middle class family, and the benefits of this has affected me in real life, and I want this positivity to reach everywhere. When you say middle class and lower middle class, the people who are coming to my gym are spending 40 to 50 rupees on a scoop of protein. They are struggling, but they are doing it. Why? Because they think that is good for their health.
So it's not about the money, it's about the priorities.
It's about you understanding what is good for you. The basis, you can walk into any gym around you, and you will see people spending at least 100 rupees a day on supplements.
Yeah.
Spend that 100 rupees on good food, dude. That is what our company wants to do. When people in India, organic, our FDA is not very strong. Like, unlike foreign countries in Europe and USA, when you say your food is organic, there are stringent controls put into place. In India, organic is used as a marketing gimmick to raise the price of products.
Yeah.
We want to break that.
It's just a label in India.
See, the discussion we had the other day, there is this weird thing happening where good food is being priced out, like you're very rightly pointing out. Clean, nutritious food is being made so expensive that it's being priced out of the hands of people who actually need it.
Yeah. It's only for the privileged mentality.
But that is not necessary, is what I want to tell you. It is not necessary that hydroponic good quality lettuce should only be available in the upscale Juhu vendors who are selling artisanal cheese and stuff like that. It is not necessary to sell a lettuce head for 100-150 rupees a kg. We can sell it for 30-40 rupees a kg. But then there has to be strict norms of who can use that organic tag.
Right.
People are misusing it, and we are blatantly ignoring it. And again, this is not something which we want to fight against. Our objective is very simple: to make people just aware that we exist.
Okay.
A company like us exists in Mumbai, where we actually care that you receive those greens which you want to eat when it is being harvested, so that you get the benefit of whatever money you're paying.
And who do you think your target audience is in the long run? Is it the masses or is it B2B or who is it?
It is masses. So even B2B. So our company did something for the first time. A hydroponic company has been able to achieve that project. We did a live farm setup in a working 5-star. So if any of you guys are ever visiting 7 Kitchens in St. Regis, it is the first 5-star which has an active working lettuce stand in their buffet area where the lettuces are growing, and they are able to harvest and serve it to their client. Imagine that.
But isn't this contradicting, Ankit? Isn't this contradicting in a way? You said कि जो artisanal फालतू चीज़ें बेच रहे हैं वो लोग जुहू में, right? वो ज़रूरत नहीं है उतना.
नहीं है.
But then I am getting access to your food only in St. Regis.
No. So they are using it for their benefit. But we are capable of doing that. We are not charging them anything extra because you are St. Regis. I am still charging them 30 rupees, 40 rupees a head. what we have been able to do is modify the atmosphere in that cooking space,
Which was very tough.
which was impossible. I literally had to stay there for 2 months, man. I told you, the smallest of mistakes will kill it. Where I want people to understand is there is a company which is within your distance where you can get the food which you're looking for. Who is my target? My target is anybody in the age group of 45 to 20. Everybody who's right now trying to lose weight, eat healthy, everyone has become conscious since COVID.
Yeah, that's
All of them have good jobs. All of them are traveling all over the world. You can see wanderlust in everybody's social media. When they are doing that wanderlust, they are getting exposed to multiple cuisines outside. So you don't have to worry about changing the eating habits of people. That is an organic thing, it is happening. What you have to do is make them aware. Right now, where we are sitting, nobody is aware that Harvest on Request exists.
Harvest on Request.
Harvest on Request, that is my company's name, sir.
That's पहली बार सुना मैंने.
Yeah. So my company's name is Harvest on Request. You can look me up on Instagram, our website, everything is functional.
Amazing.
So,
And what are your scaling vision, like at least for the next 6 months or 1 year? जो short term scaling जिसको बोलते हैं. I get it that you want to make them aware, but
so
how?
one of the
Do you
most
have a-
important things which we want to focus on, and it's so underdeveloped in India, is R&D. Indian investors don't want to invest in R&D. So let me give you an example. The peppers which I told you. There are many products like this. There are medicinal plants. You know, today you get those ashwagandha powder and all.
Yeah, it's becoming very popular even in
Europe.
the foreign markets. Ashwagandha.
Yeah. And it is because it has beautiful properties. I don't know if as a child you had it or not, but when I was a kid, we were always given something called as Chawanprash.
Chawanprash, yeah.
Winters used to be amazing.
And summers used to
सुबह
be...
उठो च्यवनप्राश खाओ दूध पियो भाई बॉडी फटाफट
हाँ, full energy. Full
full
dose of
energy
though.
it's gone. Where are you getting those things?
Why do you think it's gone?
It has been replaced by the pharmaceutical industry. You have multiple health drinks now.
Yeah.
Like go to a store or fridge खोल लो and ऊपर से नीचे तक caffeinated health drinks है जो पियोगे तो
Sugary, caffeine.
शुगर जहर है यार.
So you think pharma is your enemy? Your vision's
Pharma is
enemy?
anybody's enemy. Everybody's enemy. Pharma is nobody's friend. Pharma is out to make money. Look at the details and just Google कि pharma companies ने last COVID में कितना पैसा बनाया. You will be ashamed.
कि तुमने उनको दिया है वो पैसा.
हाँ, हम सब ने दिया है यार. So again, getting back to the core point, our objective is to be able to reach as many people as possible who want this food. Like I said, this is not a vision for my lifetime. This is a vision which is going to go on. And over that period of time, the food habits of people are obviously going to change. And our company's vision is to be at the forefront of this technological development. We want to be a learning institute as well, especially for the current farmers.
Okay.
We don't consider current farmers as uneducated. What we consider is the current farmers are not being given the right information.
Right.
There is a lag. I would say the people who are making the rules and regulations are the one who are not well versed in the technological developments which are happening.
Right.
And they need to step up in a big way. So let me give you an example. Hydroponic companies in South Kerala and all receive 80% subsidy on everything.
Okay.
So imagine if they are growing lettuce, उनका growing cost है 100 rupees a kg.
तो 80 उनको गवर्नमेंट दे रहा है.
गवर्नमेंट दे रहा है, वो 20 रुपए में बेच रहा है और वो अपना कचड़ा दादर मार्केट में डंप कर रहा है.
कौन? केरला
वो
वाला.
हाँ, उसको क्या फर्क पड़ता है यार.
मतलब इतना फायदा होके भी इज नॉट मेकिंग द मोस्ट आउट ऑफ इट.
नो, वो यहाँ पे डंपिंग जो वहाँ पे खराब होने को आता है इधर डंप करा देता है.
क्यों? Because people aren't. He doesn't want to make people aware.
They have put up farms. They are getting the subsidy. वहाँ पे प्रॉफिट हो रहा है. जो भी एक्स्ट्रा उग रहा है जिसको चाहिए लेके जाओ. 10 रुपया 20 रुपया, it is rotting, take it, go.
हाँ, क्योंकि उसके जेब से तो जा नहीं रहा
उसके जेब से जा नहीं रहा है.
there's no pinching.
No, we don't get any kind of subsidy. We have to fight with that shit. So, I can't name names over here, problem hai. But some of the most popular eating joints famous for salad will not work with us because we charge 40 rupees a head and they want it for 10 rupees a head, which they pick up from the Dadar market, and they do it at the end of the day when the material is being about to throw away. And these are some of the most reputed eating joints in Mumbai.
So we are not talking about McD and all, proper joints.
We are talking about all of them. Everywhere where it is being used in those quantities. There are very few institutes who are buying from us who actually care. Like I told you, Suzets, they are very particular. They will not work unless you give them that organic certificate of SSA. They will not even entertain you. Okay? Pompa, Reggie's, whole of Aditya Birla Group, Marriott's. There are restaurants. There are restaurants in Airoli who have been my customer for 3 years now.
वहाँ तो बोल नहीं सकते, only the privileged eat.
West Coast Grill, पीयूष बंसोड़, यहीं पे रहता है. He has been my regular customer for 3 years without a break. अब बोलो मेरा प्रोडक्ट सिर्फ 5 स्टार्स में जा रहा है? नहीं. बट उसने अपना मेनू वैसा केटर किया है और अच्छा चल रहा.
Amazing.
So our objective is to reach as much people as possible. If I'm not reaching you directly, I am targeting the places which can be considered the node or convergence point for maximum people who are looking for that kind of food. Once I have developed that market, parallelly I'll develop. But abhi kya hai pata, we are working on a very small team.
Yeah.
We require a lot of people enthusiastic like you to pitch in. Then it can be a change.
That's true.
Especially the youngsters.
Yeah, I'm in for this. We'll talk in detail on this after this podcast.
If people who hear this podcast and are interested, I am always open to having a chat with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
I believe in this change. Because my eating habits are shit. Okay. And obviously 80% I am responsible for it. But rest of 20% I believe कि मैं कहीं भी कुछ भी खाने जाऊँ, I don't believe the food is healthy. So I end up choosing the unhealthy option anyway.
that is the problem. You go to any store. Say, again, I'll talk about my situation. I am from a lower middle class family. Okay. During my days, अगर मेरे पास जेब में 10 रुपया है, मुझे भूख लगा है, what do I get for 10 rupees?
Vada pav.
Either I'll get vada pav, or I'll get some kind of cream roll, or I'll get some shitty cream bun, or I'll get a chips ka packet. Or if I'm conscious, I'll go buy 2 bananas and eat, which most of the workers do. What else will you get for 10 rupees? We don't even have options. Is that right? As a community, is that right? What will these kids do? Tell me. We are telling kids are unhealthy, ये ऐसे कर रहे हैं, वो ऐसे.
So it's very funny that you mentioned this. The other day I was in McDonald's. So I usually go to McDonald's every day to have a coffee, okay? And I just have a coffee.
You should restrict yourself to those things.
Haan. And like I said, I go there every day. And every alternate day, I see a mother or a father feeding their 8-month, 12-month, 2-year kids
McDonald's.
French fries and whatever the McFlurry ice creams, cold drinks, and I am shocked to the core. Abhi aaj I am 24, even if my eating habits are shit, I am at least conscious of the fact that okay, when I have the access to good foods, I'll at least make sure that my kid doesn't eat shit for at least 10 years. उसके बाद तो चलो यार, there are some situations where you can't control them. But especially when the kid is under 5 or under 10, you are the sole responsible. वैसे तो legally 18 तक तुम हो.
No, bro, see, you, during our chat, you mentioned something. People who are financially blessed, their kids have better health. No, they don't have to make that compromise on quality.
Yeah.
And that is where I feel there is something absolutely wrong with the whole eating structure.
So it's not like good foods aren't available, but the whole monetary point of view, जो market जैसा बन गया है, जैसा commercialize हो गया है, nobody wants to market those products anymore because margins आते हैं,
Yes, they
scaling
want
आता है.
to, they want to जितना last ounce of पैसा चूस सके चूस ले. Why did I mention Saint Regis? It is not that I'll just go and do it for Saint Regis. If tomorrow this guy comes and tells me, hey, can we do something like this? Why not?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll be happy to work with you. If tomorrow your building comes and tells with me, hey, can we do a community project where we can put up some things which will make our building self-sufficient? Absolutely, man. Why not? It will be difficult. We'll face problems, but we'll face it together and we'll find out solutions.
Yeah.
See, with this tech, everything is being developed on a daily basis. I constantly read it. I'll tell you the limitations of hydroponics. Hydroponics का जो cost है ना, it makes certain crops still not feasible in hydroponics.
Okay.
We've only reached the second level of hydroponics. There are 2-3 levels more. Like the crop which is consumed the most, rice, wheat, they still can't be grown in hydroponics. Only reason, the electricity consumption is so high that the commercial अभी जो उग रहा है उसका कॉस्ट और हाइड्रोपोनिकली ग्रोन का कॉस्ट मैच भी नहीं करेगा.
So what is the timeline where you see कि ये crops भी possible हो सकता है?
Japan has already started doing successful experiments on rice.
जापान और इंडिया एक conversation में भी नहीं बैठते हैं.
बैठता है
एक
बिकॉज
line में भी
5
नहीं
साल ले ले अभी.
For India,
Yeah, the government is not going to do anything,
you will.
but there will be people like us. See, there will be people like us. There will be more people. People are getting conscious. People are not stupid.
But do you really believe 5 years is a realistic timeline?
For things to develop more, in 5 years, I believe governments will start looking at this as an integral part of everyday agriculture instead of a specialized segment of agriculture. And that would be the big change.
So what will be your one last message to the farmers, one, the consumers who are eating bad food, two, and the government, three? Just one-liners.
For farmers, I would love to have an opportunity to work with as many of them as possible and make the technology we are working on completely open source, free of cost, and help them build businesses. For consumers, it is very simple. Please be conscious of what you put in your body.
Be mindful about your consumption.
Be mindful, bro. It is okay to miss a couple of meals and stay hungry.
Yeah.
Because our body is used to being hungry.
Yeah.
But our body is not used to eating poison every day. Anything which is killing something living cannot do good in your body.
Yeah.
Please be
That's a
careful.
very, very good way to put it. You have simplified it so well.
Yeah. If it is killing that
समझने को
cockroach
easy है.
and insects and earthworm, it is also killing something inside you.
Yeah.
Please be mindful. And as for the government, if this reaches to anybody, help us, man. We want to beat the rest of the people. We
And
need
help
support.
your people.
Help get this technology implemented in a broader scale, and it will help stop such unexpected crop losses. We can do much better.
Yeah.
We don't have to rely on imported food for supplying to the Bombay restaurants. We can do it here. People are smart. Okay, right now, Kashmir is saying because of climate change, they are not able to grow saffron. But people in Pune have started growing saffron in their bedrooms. The technology is there right now. Make it available to them. Don't keep it under the tag of like जैसे organic मतलब महंगा है, हाइड्रोपोनिक मतलब डिफिकल्ट है और कुछ लोग कर सकते हैं. नहीं, दिस इज मेन स्ट्रीम. टीच दिस टू योर किड्स, दे विल लर्न.
So this resonates with Elon Musk's message कि after the US elections, this is slight off topic, but it resonates with the same message. After the US elections, Twitter played a huge role in electing Trump as the president. So after that, Elon Musk was going on social media and all of the Trump voters were going on social media like we are the media now. we are the mainstream media now. And this goes in a similar way that every person who wants to bring that change, he is the farmer now.
Yeah.
He is the change now.
Absolutely. And see, I understand this is my passion and I can do it literally 24/7. And not everybody can. But if you want to make that change, we are always there. What I would like to add is starting something is always difficult. Especially changing your eating habits, which has been ingrained in you for a long time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I will tell you. You enjoy a sweet, which is made out of sugar. How long does that taste last in your mouth?
5 to 10 seconds hardly.
That's it, right? For that 10 seconds of dopamine hit in your mind, you screwed your body for the
whole
next
week, yeah.
Not even week. It is going to take months to clean that sugar out of your body. Maybe never.
So what does, one last question for you. What does your diet look like?
Dude, I have a very simple diet. Being a Bengali, I have rice as an integral part. Past 1 year, I have stopped having non-veg because I have been working with some shelters and it has become very difficult for me to justify having non-veg. I do have egg from time to time. So I have 2 to 3 eggs a day. Dal, rice, घर का, whatever sabzi is being made. शाम को roti. What happens is the in-between meals. In morning, I have a milkshake which is milk, dry fruits and banana. And any post-meal thing, I have curd.
Probiotic.
Curd is the best source of sustained protein you can ever consume. All those fitness experts who are buying casein protein at 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 rupees a kg, guys, that is dehydrated curd. घर पे बना सकता है तू. सच में घर पे बना सकता है. पैसे मत बर्बाद कर.
Amazing.
It's simple, man. You don't have to complicate it. Keep it as simple as possible. Eat as much uncooked food as possible. So stick to fruits.
Yeah.
Make conscious choices. Avoid palm oil and any kind of oil, man.
मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम्हारे पास नहीं है, वो है, तुम्हें दिख नहीं रहा
है तुम्हें बट कोई बता नहीं रहा है. तुम कन्वीनियंस पे खेल ले रहे हो यार.
नहीं, पर फ्रूट्स भी तुम्हारे सामने है, पर तुम्हें नहीं खाना है.
नहीं खाना.
You would rather have a pizza.
नहीं, देख कैसे
Spend 10
पता है?
times the
So
money.
this is how I play with my mind. I want something sweet. I'll eat as many fruits as possible till my sweet craving is gone. मैं रेस्ट्रिक्ट नहीं करता, मैं एक ही केला खाऊंगा. मैं बैठा हूँ, मैं 3-4 केले खा गया एक ही टाइम पे. मैं एप्पल खा रहा हूँ, खाते जा रहा हूँ. मैं लंच स्किप कर गया. कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ता. Our body, it is absolutely okay to starve it from time to time. In fact, sometimes it is necessary. People do upas for religious reasons. I do upas for health benefits.
Yeah. Because religious reasons में भी वो religion में कहाँ से आया? It had some health benefits.
Because
The ancestors
science,
used
man.
Exactly. The ancestors.
We lost way somewhere, but our Indian culture was scientifically
Yeah. Very
amazing.
आज तुम उसको religion का नाम दे रहे हो. It was always for health benefits.
आज सब कुछ business हो गया है.
अभी गुजरातियों में या जैन लोगों में, जैनिज्म में, the pollution. So 7 days for everyone should do it. It's not like Jains should do it because it's pollution.
And this is the beauty of all religions. Jains do it. Muslims do it. Okay? They fast during Ramzan.
Yeah.
Christians do it. They have length. We do it.
महाशिवरात्रि वो
ठीक
सब रहता
है?
है.
We just have various religions, but if you study them properly, you will realize
All are
that
backed by
the
science.
core is do good to everybody. Live with yourself so that you can, explain yourself at the end of your time.
There are usually two types of people in this world. The ones who look at everything they are told as gyan, and the other ones who listen to everything they are told carefully, filter it out, and use whatever is useful as a catalyst in their growth journey. The perspective really matters, and you have to ask yourself, which one are you? If you believe you are in the second one, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because each and every video on this channel will help you grow. See you in the next video.